Finally, we're going to wrap with June. A few items snuck in before I recorded this podcast. We had June 5th at number 28. Apple announces Vision Pro. They're not metaverse, never used the word metaverse in it, not even AR, VR. It is spatial computing. The reason it makes this list is because there is an insane amount of artificial intelligence that makes this product possible. And it looks interesting. I don't know if you're going to spend $3,500 on it. I think it comes out actually publicly available in early 2024, I believe is when it's going to be available. But I was actually more interested in the AI side of it and everything that goes into it. I do, as I mentioned earlier, think Apple is sort of the dark horse in all of this. I don't know that it's going to happen, but to me, if Siri becomes what it was supposed to be, and we think a future where AI personal assistants are everywhere and everyone has one, that to me is the leading potential player in it. So if Apple, because again, they quietly build all this stuff, they never talk about anything they're building. If they're building their own foundational language models within the organization, and they're planning on enabling action transformers to occur right on your phone, I really think that Apple could end up being the most important company in this story that no one's talking about. They have thousands of AI researchers. They are genius at product innovation, and they have the most significant distribution of anybody given the iPhone that we all carry around in our pocket. So just interesting. I follow Apple closely. Unfortunately, there's just not much to follow because they never talk about what they're doing. All right, June 7th, 2023, number 29 on our list, DeepMind, which we referenced earlier. Google DeepMind is the AI research lab within Google run by Demis Hassabis, who I talk about a lot on the show. They announced, this one's kind of more geeky, but it's interesting, announces alpha dev breakthrough in sorting algorithms. I'm just going to read real quick why I think this matters. It says new algorithms will transform the foundations of computing. Digital society is driving increasing demand for computation, in large part because of AI, and energy use. For the last 5 decades, we relied on improvements in hardware to keep pace. But as microchips approach their physical limits, it's critical to improve the code that runs on them to make computing more powerful and sustainable. So basically, to build these really advanced models we're thinking about, these scaling laws aren't going to work out in just the hardware side. There has to be smarter ways to do the underlying algorithms. It says this is especially important for the algorithms that make up the code running trillions of times a day. In our paper published in Nature, we introduced AlphaDev, an AI system that uses reinforcement learning to discover enhanced computer science algorithms, surpassing those honed by scientists and engineers over decades. And again, this goes to like, we talked about what are the things that excite us about artificial intelligence in a recent episode. Scientific discovery and breakthroughs that humans haven't been able to solve is really, really interesting and exciting, what that could make possible. And this sort of breakthrough, this sort of research paper is the kind of thing 2-3 years from now, you will see a 60 Minutes episode about and the impact it had on all these different industries. So then this ends with AlphaDev uncovered a faster algorithm for sorting, a method for ordering data. Billions of people use these algorithms every day without realizing it. They underpin everything from ranking online search results, and social posts to how data is processed on computers and phones. Generating better algorithms using AI will transform how we program computers and impact all aspects of an increasingly digital society. So again, the average person will never know what AlphaDev is, won't have ever heard of it. Hopefully now, because you listen to this show, you can impress your friends and talk about AlphaDev. DeepMind comes out with the most insane stuff. And like, I'll go give talks and ask who knows who Demis Hassabis is, and no one raises their hands. This is like every time. No one knows what AlphaGo is. They don't know AlphaZero. Like, they have no idea. And yet I think Demis and what they're doing at DeepMind is maybe some of the most important work in human history. So again, if nothing else from this, like, go follow DeepMind and Demis Hassabis and his team, Shane Legg and the people at DeepMind. They're working at the forefronts of like the frontiers of advanced AI and biology and energy, like just amazing stuff. So yeah, that's my like plug for Demis and DeepMind. And then the last one, that makes the cut here is Cohere, which is another language model company we've talked about a lot on the show, announced a $270 million Series C, which I'm sure values them at well over a billion, probably a billion and a half to two. I'm not sure what the number is. They announced that. I think the key here is they're making an enterprise AI play. So I've said before that I think large language models are going to be as critical to organizations in the next decade as CRMs have been in the previous decade. So if you think about how core the CRM is to everything we do in marketing, sales, service, and beyond, that's what I think is going to happen with large language models, that every company, especially every enterprise, is going to have custom built and trained versions of large language models that power the generative AI within their organization, where all the data can stay private and secure and proprietary to them. And then they can use that in marketing, sales, service applications and beyond. And that's kind of what Cohere is hinting at here with what their direction is. So it said in the release, the platform is built to be available on every cloud provider, deployed inside a customer's existing cloud environment, virtual private cloud, VPC, or even on-site to meet companies where their data is. This empowers businesses to transform existing products and build the next era-defining generation of innovative solutions while keeping their data secure. So again, I think just a prelude to where a lot of these companies are going to go is they're going to move into the enterprise. They're going to custom build things. So you're not going to be just going and using ChatGPT and having all your employees randomly using stuff and putting a bunch of confidential information into these models. You're going to have your own model where you know all your data is secure and that you can build on top of. All right. So that is it. That is our 30 top things. It is kind of crazy to look back at just these first, not even full 6 months yet of the year and think about everything that has already transpired and to try and consider what could possibly be coming next. It's really just amazing time. It is amazing to be living through this phase in human history and certainly the impact it's going to have on businesses and society and education. And appreciate you being along for the journey. I mean, it's every week we're just trying to figure this stuff out, and hopefully us trying to make sense of it out loud is helping you figure it out as well.